like a long time. I have a great, deep, and amazing love for the Chinese and Japanese. They like a long time ago, it's almost like a little Chinese person showed up and said and said hi, and I'm like, who are you? Are you here to help? And they're like, hi, like yes. Uh, they are. Well, it's all because like I say, I took the Panama, went to Germany, took middle samples in Germany, and then that went to China, Japan, and Russia, and then China, and then everything else. I mean, there were other people that realized that I was this great leader, or I was a great leader, or at least something different. And well, yeah, I am a lot different actually. Like I say, I am a great leader, and Korea was basically really just a military base. It was a German military base, and then I forget the exact. It goes back a long, long ways. Like it actually goes back to almost like pterodactyls and all that other stuff. Like it was there was something there I forget. I remember it's all in the videos. Like I say, Korea. Everyone has their own films. Like I made sure cameras were everywhere throughout the world, and note taking and records and everything else like that. Like I was ever since like about year zero. I've been making sure that everything was written down so there wouldn't be any question of what was going on or who was leading or what was happening. Like I said, everybody had their own little things. Like I was doing the 5 year increasement plan with Russia, and then we were doing the building plan of China, and then we were doing building in the United States, and then of course there's Panama, which was like my extra food supply. It was like my crazy Panama was my insane crazy project. But I had other little things going on, like for instance, Korea I was going to be a hardened base. I'm forgetting the exact details. There's a lot of things going on that are like hidden underneath the ground. Like I say, if you get up there and you get to space, when you get to space eventually, there is life on Mars, and there's actually bases, and I believe 1.5s were living there or something. Like there's some other life forms. They're just shorter. They're still life forms though. There's a lot of life forms around. There's life forms. There were life forms on every single planet here. Like I said, they had decided to come around me and stay with me for a while. And be with me. Like I said, there are 80 other galaxies out there which know about me and know me as the creator of particles. I actually did create particles, which is crazy. Some ridiculous time ago, like 100 trillion years ago, I figured out particles and particle creation and everything else like that, and I created some stuff and did the nuclear fusion stuff. And a lot of people say, "Oh, it's just a story," but it actually is true. And I move around and stuff like that, and it's just like, it's just science. I mean, I created some life forms, and then I wanted them to live, and then, like I say, the human reproductive system. Um, anyway, there were some others that wanted to just, they wanted to create their own history, and they wanted to like, well, I mean, creating your own history is fine, but they wanted to kill off everything. I mean, I had created all these missiles and guns and ships and technology, and they saw the possibility of war, or at least death. And then they wanted to do all this other stuff, like the Supreme Leader. Any girl has to submit to the Supreme Leader and all that other stuff. And it's like, and it wasn't, and they were calling someone else the Supreme Leader. And it's like, I'm sorry, but you can't use laws or that kind of thing. Like that's not what laws and stuff is for. So then I mean, like I said, there's a bunch of people going around going like this to life forms, to people going, like is that a mating technique? Like you have muscle or gun, and therefore the threat of death is why this girl should mate with you, or why these people should work for you. Like I mean, like I say, that there's that guy in Africa. He got an AK-47 at like 15 years old and just started killing. And then got drugs and then killed some more and then killed some more and got with a bunch of other killers and just started rampaging around the world, and like had his own little kill squad. And it's like, like I say, you get to like the future and it's like, well, actually, I'm the creator of 12 races, and there is, humans were like my soft and squishy ones. And it's like, and then some other humans are like, well, he's gonna figure it out eventually, blah 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 blah. You know, we're just gonna have to beat him. And it's like, you're not going to beat what I was and what that is. There's no possibility. Like it's like Tank, what I was. I mean, in person, what I was. I was like, you know, and a lot of people that thought they could just blast this media stuff and lie about things thought that they could just kill and torture and hurt people until they could make their own little truth real. And it's like, that's not even what, like I said, 500 million years ago, a bunch of people went up to the Germans and said, you're now a Jewish person, you know, and chopped off a bunch of people's heads and said, okay, and then they put someone as the Jewish leader. And that's all Jewish religion is. And like, I found out about that. I find out about all this stuff. And like, because I am the creator and I am the real Lucifer, and like, you know, it's like, you find out about all this stuff and I'm like, wow, you know, because I mean, I was actually like, I was leading my people from billions or trillions of years ago. I've been leading like all these galaxies and all this stuff. Like, we were doing technology and science and everything was fine and everything was great. And then we get up to about 1960, 1940, and like, or actually 1912 is about when it started to change, because I got the Panama Canal done and I had created so much metal and so much money and was so wealthy that a bunch of people thought, well, they could just start lying, and then they just, you know, it just gets to be more and more and more and more and more. And it's like, I created the sun, and the earth used to be a sun, and I cooled it off. And I have 12 other races and 80 other galaxies. I'm the one who invented particle physics and figured out how to make space into this. Like I say, the work I did led to every star in the universe. And I mean, Nixon and Jimmy Carter and Rodney and a bunch of other people thought that they could go up against that. And it's like, well, it's like that. But hey, what do I know? You know, I mean, that's what I believe to be true. That's what I remember. And I just, you know, and I bounced around my life forms and kicked it for a while. And that's why I'm the supreme leader. That's why my name is Lucifer, White Star. You know, but you can believe whatever you want. I mean, like I said, this is what I believe is true. This is what I know. And I named America, and I had some printing presses, and, you know, I was like, well, I invented some stuff also as well on Earth, and did some other stuff, like, and I named America, and you know, had scientists and stuff in Panama Canal, and I owned the Titanic. And the Titanic was originally crewed by Chinese or Japanese, or at least they were doing security on the Titanic. And I don't understand what happened to that. But somebody wants to say that they weren't, but that's not what I remember. I remember that there were Chinese or Japanese people on the Titanic, and they were like the crew or something like that. And they were taking care of the Titanic for me because they were honest and honorable and good people, and also knew martial arts. But I don't really know much more than that. Like I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, you know, and like I remember like the cowboys going to Korea and teaching the Koreans how to wrangle cows and stuff, and trying to get the food production up in there so they won't be starving and stuff, and also get some modern day steam equipment and also other stuff, and also getting schools and science going in there. And they actually even got their own genetics laboratory, which they learned how to do themselves, I think. Germany was helping them. And I think I asked China also to take part, or Japan or somebody. Like, Japan's also just another base as well. Basically, that was my disease research laboratory and stuff. It was like my triage for the planet. You know, any sick would go there, you know, and get fixed up. That was like my medical facility for the Earth, basically. I used to do things by Earth. You know, Japan was like my medical facility, and also some other stuff, and I had all these different facilities all around the world.